Hello, everyone, and welcome back to part 6 of 21, where we take a look back at what I wrote over a year ago about the 20 Democratic candidates who participated in the first debate. And I assess what I wrote at that time, how true that proved to be about the candidates, and any thoughts that I may have had subsequent to their exit from the race. The next candidate that we're covering, because he was the next one to drop out, is everybody's favorite mayor, Bill de Blasio, the current who entered the race on May the 16th, 2019, and exited the race on September 20th, 2019. De Blasio, the current mayor of America's largest city, is running because, well, not even he knows why. The mayor is presiding over a city with the lowest crime rate the city has seen in 60 years. However, problems are brewing under the surface. A housing crisis, an outflow of residents, and the city's infrastructure is crumbling. He is facing huge unfavorable ratings despite winning 2 landslide victories. The majority of the opposition to his run is coming from inside New York City, with a recent poll of New Yorkers showing 67% or 76% of respondents opposed to his run. Yet he thinks it's a good idea to run for president. Bottom line, de Blasio is the tallest candidate in the grouping, so he will stick out. Bill de Blasio's run for president didn't generate much of anything except a lot of awkward headlines and empty meeting rooms in Iowa, South Carolina, and New Hampshire. And people are like, wow, you're the mayor of New York City. De Blasio, as I said, he generated that. He also joined the long line of a lot of New York mayors who run for higher office and fall flat on their face. We can think of Mayor de Blasio. We can think of Mayor Giuliani, who put over $100 million into his presidential campaign and didn't even generate a single delegate. John Lindsay, and the list just goes on and on and on of candidates who run for, who become mayor of New York City and think that that is a stepping stone to a higher office. We would also see this play out on a much larger scale later in this campaign with Michael Bloomberg. De Blasio's just, as I said, he's got a lot of positives in his favor. He's presiding over a New York with one of its lowest crime rates in history, and he's done a lot. Everything should be hunky-dory, but you've got problems that are brewing under the surface, and they played out in stark contrast. Even last year, there was a blackout in New York City for several hours in the middle of summer, and while de Blasio was off campaigning, and that created a horrible visual for the mayor. We've had, obviously, the coronavirus, and de Blasio's horrible handling of getting a grasp on it at first, and his terrible response to the events of the past couple of days in his city. So much so that Governor Andrew Cuomo is considering taking control of the New York City Police Department out of de Blasio's hands. And the issue with de Blasio and the NYPD is a whole video for another day. For another time. But bottom line is, de Blasio was a terrible candidate. I never really understood his run, because there was a candidate in the race who he ended up endorsing, who had a lot more support than he did, and who he could have been a major fundraiser for among New York liberals, and that's Senator Sanders. But I guess de Blasio had to add his list to the list. You know, the names of people who ran for president. Here, I made a spreadsheet of all the people that I heard buzz about that would run for president in 2020. The red is people that there was speculation. And I've got everyone on here from Oprah Winfrey to Michael Avenatti. I mean, I've got a couple of jokes on here. But mostly it's serious candidates. The yellow is people that ran and dropped out. And of course the blue is the presumptive nominee, Joe Biden. But as you can see, there was a large contingent of people that ran for president this time. And I guess de Blasio felt like he had to get in while the getting was good. And he played to a lot of empty rooms across the early primary states. And in the first debate, he came out in favor of a 90% marginal tax rate, top marginal tax rate. That's extreme, and was very forceful in his liberal views, and clashed with some of the other participants who sought a more moderate position. I will see you all tomorrow. Have a great night and stay safe.